I'm with the band. Music and interviews you're going to like.
Welcome to I'm with the band here on the Mesh Podcast Network. I am your host, Andrew Moose. If this is your first time listening, first of all, welcome. I'm with the band invites musicians and bands of all types to discuss their current projects, their touring lives, and their lives as musicians. So we'd love for you to go over and hit the subscribe button on whatever platform you're using right now so that you can get these I'm with the band episodes beamed directly to you whenever we drop an episode. We produce them and you listen to them. That's how it works around here. So if you like what you're hearing and might be considering advertising on the Mesh, it's a great way to reach a targeted audience. And plus, I've heard the only people who listen to our podcast are rich and they're beautiful and all they want to do is spend money with you and your company. So today we have a very special guest. My guest today is the frontman for the North Carolina-based band Time Sawyer, Mr. Sam Tayloe. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, man? Thanks so much for having me today.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. We were talking a little bit offline. We've shared a couple of bills together at some festivals, and our paths have crossed a few times. And man, I've got to listen to your band live a couple times, and I'm always impressed, dude. It's just so good and so put together.
We really appreciate it. We think that's probably the best way to have music, or at least to take what you're actually performing and being able to play. Putting a record together is a lot of fun, and there's, in my opinion, nothing wrong with being able to layer and stack and move and really make a lush recording or something that kind of speaks in a different art form. But as far as we are concerned, which luckily the whole group feels the same, is if you're going to show what you can do and really have a lot of fun, being live is the best way to do it.
That's right, man. I'm 100% in agreement. There's nothing like playing live music in front of a crowd. And, we were lucky enough to have Tom Sawyer in Hickory a couple, I guess it was maybe last year at the Hard Hat series.
Yes.
Where you guys came. That was a really good show.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun there. It's really any and every show is just sticking out like a sore thumb now, wishing we could play some shows. But we understand where we're at. And we as a band are luckily a really tight-knit group. And we understand that being a group is the only way to get through this that we're in this year. So we're playing ball. We're playing ball.
That's right, man. That's all we can do right now. But during the pandemic, a lot of people have switched to more online things, and you guys have definitely fall right into that category with your Sam on Sundays. Not to be confused with Frank on Fridays.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, don't worry. We're not trying to take too much of that. We're having a lot of fun, and that's really being able to pivot and be able to do something a little different. It's definitely helped it's helped me feel more creative in a more of a singular way. But I also think as a band and trying to stay relevant, there's a little bit of, I wouldn't say a scared feeling of kind of, we want to make sure we're staying relevant, and that feels almost like a chore, and that shouldn't feel that way. But it's again, I guess it's just like anybody else. People really like to strip back that music you should be doing it for the right reasons. I totally believe that. But at the same time, it is a business, and it's a very difficult thing when you just got to understand those two pair together. They don't have to be bad. It's just one of those things you got to be aware of if you want to keep making your way up the ladder.
Well, I used to see gold, now I just see silver. Ain't it funny how the heart can take hold? I've always had a boat out on the Needmore River, the kind of living turns your coffee cold. Well, it's hard to peek through when the dark feels blinding. The shadow's just a ghost grown old. Down from the depths comes a cold mine diamond, but very few are steady working in a hole. Better to borrow than to run out of steam. lonely's a heartbreaker's dream. Oh, let me hold your light, let me make it okay. Oh, there's no reason for concern. It's playing second fiddle all alone on your birthday. Pretty soon your life's a world to burn. Better to borrow than to run out of steam. Ride to the cage and get away clean. Love is more than what you felt at 16. Lonely's a heartbreaker's dream. It's a dream. It's a dream. To the last hanging leaf on a shade tree. Well, silence can be hard to me. I'll settle for sleep anywhere with a TV. And lonely's a heartbreaker's dream. Yeah, lonely's a heartbreaker's dream. Better to borrow than to run out of steam. Ride to the cage and get away clean. Love is more than what you felt at 16. And lonely's a heartbreaker's dream.
Yeah, man, you hit that right on the head, man. And I've talked to other musicians about this too. And sorry if our listeners are like, "Damn, he said that before." But the folks that are are a beacon of light through this thing are going to just show out on the other end.
I hope so.
Yeah,
that it's really that back to that creative feeling. That's something that I wouldn't say I feel like I'm in a box, but there's a lot of me that wants to act out, again is the wrong word, but be a little more silly, a little more, I think that's how I actually act. And in a lot of ways, you don't want to take away from the music at a show. It's not a funny thing that we're trying to do up there. A lot of times the fun can transition to funny as well on the stage and be lively. But yeah, something about these Sunday shows has opened up a little bit of, we're sitting in my living room and we're honestly mixing a variety show with some skits and some guests virtually, and being able to Triple C is our presenting sponsor, a great brewery here in Charlotte, and we're able to drink some beers each week that they're releasing and telling folks how great most of them are. I mean, really, we've not had one that we hadn't loved, so it's been a great partnership.
Triple C, man, they're great. They're really into the scene. They love good music. They love having bands in there that play good music, and it's not to mention their beer is just fantastic.
Yeah.
They have cool like pre-show, basically have a shakedown lot inside of Triple C Brewery before big shows. They really do as much as they can to promote our scene. That's for sure.
They've been great. I'm for sure that just with everything going on, Chris and the folks that run that over there, they weren't just sitting in a pile of money, and they've been awful nice working with us as a sponsor of the show. And I would tell anybody, I hope Chris would say the same. We're working our asses off for them as well. But it's one of those things that during this year, there's no money guaranteed. So we feel very fortunate to be able to work with somebody in a creative way while they're trusting us with their cash and their products. So it's really
for sure.
There's been a lot of light during all this, and I think that's kind of what you were alluding to. Is hopefully we're able to, if you can have it now and create it now. Hopefully that means there's a bust of it coming out the other side. So
that's right, man. It's going to be gangbusters coming out. So, speaking of, releases and things like that, you guys do have a semi-new album that came out last year. Let's talk a little bit about it. It's called Mountain Howdy. First of all, great name for an album.
Thank you.
The cover art is fantastic. And not to mention all the songs in it are front to back really good, man. So, where did you guys record that, and who wrote the songs and all that good stuff?
We recorded that in Asheville at Echo Mountain Studios, and that's one of our very favorite spots. It's, hallowed ground in a lot of ways. There's a lot of those great spots, and we've been working with a friend of ours, Jim Jordison, along some other folks up there in Asheville, and kind of passing songs back and forth, doing some good prep, and being able to try and walk in there, try and find again maybe everything's about balance, finding a good balance of catching a spark in there in the studio that you couldn't have got at home and letting that affect the music some, but also being prepared that you're not spinning your wheels when you walk in. So we pretty much were ready. All those songs were at least written and put in to a pretty significant order before, and we're able to hopefully mesh well, no pun intended there, to be able to kind of put a record front to back. This is our first vinyl, something we're all really into. The last song on that record, Vinyl Junkie, written by Luke Mears, played guitar on that record, and from Elkin as well. And that seemed like a fitting end to that record there. And we love his voice on that. He brings such an old soul feel. I wrote the rest of those tunes on that record, and the band as a whole works on formulating those to see how we can best put them in a right space. So lyrically, I will bring that in the chords to the guys, and we kind of work our way through. And we've definitely made changes. We're very open about how those things go. It's really collectively is the only way I really feel like things get done in a way that are lasting.
Mary Jane, where did you go? See, it's hard to know if you're here or in the sky. 'Cause I've seen the way you treat your day. If there's a holy line, well, he'd be on your side. I hope that Hollywood still treats you good. Hell, it seems to me we're all doing fine. The sun don't shine like it used to, and we all smile a little less. But we aren't as wild as we could be, and we all you'll feel best. Mary Jane, well, I found a love. You thank the Lord above for the girl that's on my arm. She's long and tall, got a phone to call, and the world outside keeps banging on her door. Like a touch of grace, oh, it hurts to say that if y'all get to meet, it won't be on my time. The sun don't shine like it used to, and we all smile a little less. But but we aren't as wild as we could be. And we are, oh yes we are. She'll feel
bringing songs to a band. It says, hey, y'all, you check this out. You know, there's that. And then it turns into something spectacular, something that, you know, maybe you hadn't even thought of. And all of a sudden, you know, somebody else in your group brings something else to the table, and then it just gets better and better and better. And it just Lego stacks up.
Yeah, totally.
Turns into a great finished product.
Yeah, it's been nice. The guys playing in our band are so talented, much more talented than me. And it makes it a lot of fun to be able to, we have an older tune, a murder ballad that we have on maybe record out from 2014, actually. And we've elongated that feeling to have Court Winter, our bass player, play a just monster stand-up bass solo that kind of really builds into something that I would have never even begun to think of as a finished product or how these things go about. So it's really great to be able to have these guys that have such a musical brain on them and turn it into, like you said, something that's we're all talking the same language by the end of it.
Right on. You know, switching gears a little bit, you know, you mentioned that you're from Elkin, and I know that there's a bunch of really awesome things that's going on in that town, music's in the music sense. You know, first of all, Reevestock Music Festival. I know you're involved with that, and Reeves Theater as well. So Elkin seems like it's got it figured out. I mean,
yeah,
let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think living in a small town, that sounded shaky, so I didn't mean it that way. It's just everything's more of a anywhere. That's like saying Charlotte's got it figured out. You would have someone else tell you that, like, well, yeah, there's a lot of great stuff happening, but this and that. And I think that being a small town, we probably have more chatter in those ways of maybe it's louder. There's less voices to kind of cloud all that stuff together. I'd say overall, everyone is so excited about the growth of the town, me included. I think there's a lot of, at the very least, I don't think anyone could say there's not a huge group of folks that are really putting the work in. And it's great to see the place that I grew up continue to evolve in a way that is, it's something to be proud of. I think it's fun to see way more people than, and I guess this has a touch and go at 10 years old. I wasn't talking about traveling places, but as an adult, there's so many more people in articles and videos and PBS type things that are like, you got to go visit Elkin. And it's such a great thing to see that. And I've have some family members. My uncle Jeff Idson has started a Explore Elkin entity that has done a lot of great work pre-COVID this year that was able to just really help work with the lush music kind of ability that our town has kind of come from, bluegrass, old time, and really build that there's just a love for it. And that's kind of part of that Reeves Theater as well. And the festival, that was the reason we started the festival, was to have a huge love for the area that we've actually, you know, not had a lot of that, but a huge love for music, playing a lot around campfires rather.
And I'm sure your uncle can attest to this as well, that, you know, whenever you're trying to bring people into a city, if you're trying to attract people, no matter what you're trying to do, music and art is always right on top of the list to attract people and put beds and heads. And with or heads and beds, I should say, not heads and beds and heads.
We all got you there.
Mush mouth on this show, as all of our listeners are well aware of. You know, there's great acts that you guys have coming through the Reeves Theater. I mean, they're national touring acts. You know, we were just talking about Todd Snider that came through. You know, you were saying that was a fantastic show.
Very, very lucky to be able. And it's funny, a lot of people will say, Todd Snider played that. How'd that happen? And it's fun to say, well, I sent an email to their booking agency and they said yes, and then he showed up and they played it. And it's there's obviously some more steps involved in those things, but being able to, it's fun to see something just like, it'd be great to have this great guy come to town, and I think people would like him. And fast forward 8 months and we've got a sold out show and people are like, this is amazing. And he, as most anyone knows out there listening to Todd Snider, he's not mincing words. He's got a very large vocabulary that some folks would maybe say you can't say on many stages on a regular basis. And I was a little worried. I had a seat. I can still kind of feel this. I was telling you a little bit as we were getting started that really one of my favorite shows that I've ever seen, and I feel very honored to be a part of it. And sitting in the back, listen to him talk, I'm like, oh man, he's on one tonight, and I hope that it's okay. I hope everyone's. I hope it's going to be fine.
I hope this goes well, and he doesn't piss off everybody. And that's not how it usually goes. He usually says some vile stuff, and then or some controversial stuff, and then he'll dial back and go right into a song. You're like, that made a lot of sense there.
Well, I think I try and I wouldn't say emulate, but I think his outlook on. And I, again, don't know him at all, but just the small amount of time been around him and then also just listening to him. He's doing a live stream as well. He doesn't need me to promote that, but you can tell that he really means his connection with his words and ability to say things. You almost can understand his jokes. I think almost anyone can understand his jokes. You might not feel great maybe about the punchline if it's maybe in your camp. But I think people realize that he's trying to bring us all together with a lot of that stuff rather than tear us apart. And that's maybe an odd way to phrase that, but it's cool to hear that his outlook is always about trying to be the best we can and to understand that life's pretty difficult. And I think that being together is the way to get through those things. I try and keep that at the tip of my brain most of the time.
For sure. And I think a lot of musicians out there, we're a pretty optimistic bunch for the most part.
Hell yeah.
And and I think that's so important right now is, music and art and everything else that we're the conduits of keeping people sane. And
I'd hope that's
and I know that's for sure because, I know this is not a Todd Snider podcast. This is a Time Sawyer podcast, but it's like I was watching his live stream the other night and yours too. And it was uplifting, and I hope that's what everybody is getting from music these days.
We really appreciate that.
A little change in pace.
Yeah. And that's definitely why kind of we continued that is being able to see a community, whether it be digital or not, being able to see a community of folks in our streams and chatting and us being able to say, good to see you again this week or good to see you every week. There's people that have watched the show for 37 weeks in a row. And we've got, I think that's right. 38 might be coming up on Sunday. And it's been wild to think we've spent that long carrying this live stream baby. And it's been fun. And it's been really great to see people continue to be a part of it. It's like you said, it's you got to stay out there making a forward progress move.
Devil came and stole my watch. It left me timeless, dogging strung out. Took my tip straight out the jar. And as I stumbled through this bar into the darkness, it's a shame to not know where you are. Pastor John, he gave me the rules to live by. Twist my arm for me to stay. And as I sit there in the chapel, I cut my eyes and look away. 'Cause there are dreams that I could see there, left in places that I've gone. All the words I could not carry on. And when I'm leaving any love I had, oh, at once I wish I could always talk in silence, turn my thoughts to firewood. I wish I could. Ask you on now for forgiveness, but I'm sure you'd say what for. For it's true, you know I've lived this. Surely I'd be aware of a need to even the score. So in my casket I raised up to shout my message, and bumped my head and fell asleep. The guests cleared out and left my family to sort the baggage, and I screamed out, not a peep. 'Cause there are dreams that I could see there, left in places that I've gone, but all the words I could not carry on. And when I'm leaving any love I had, oh, at once I wish I could always talk in silence, turn my thoughts to firewood. I wish I could.
That's right. Just a refresher, guys. We're talking with Sam Tayloe from Time Sawyer here, and if we'd love for you to go and head over to the Mesh.tv and check out all of our other shows on our network, and mash the subscribe button on all those Mesh podcasts so they can be sent directly to you. So Sam, tell us what's next. Are you guys writing new songs? Are you, what's next for the Time Sawyer?
Yeah, the grandiose plan was, okay, we're locked down in March. I'm going to have months upon months to write, and I'll have this finished album. We'll put it out, and when we lift this up, we're going to roll out on the bus, and we'll be catching the jet to LA. But that's not the way that I've done things so far. With this live stream, it's taken a lot of time, and we do have quite a few songs that are about ready, and I think this is a good time to discuss it because it's really just been kind of a recent turn. But I think we'll definitely have some new music next year. And I think the beginning of the year, we will try and get some stuff recorded and kind of see that whole process can be, depending on which way we decide to go and what we want to do. It can be lengthy, or we can go ahead and get some stuff out into the world. I kind of go back and forth with if singles are the way to go, I love to see a finished product and let someone digest something that you've put out, sure, rather than just a single song to try and place it somewhere. But there's a lot of positivity in both of those things. So we're looking forward to new music next year. Yeah. I hope people will follow us.
Well, you guys have definitely got a high bar after Mountain Howdy, though, man. It was a real pleasure for me to listen and put ears on that tune.
Man, thank you. It's been, as you said, it feels still newer than it should because of this year. But it's good that we still feel that it's something we can listen to and enjoy. So thank you.
Absolutely. So, Sam Tayloe, thank you so much for joining us today, man. We really appreciate it. Tell our listeners where we can find you and buy all your music.
Yeah, you can. I'll definitely be very glad to tell you. You can check out timesawyer.com. We just did actually a big holiday sale, so we might be a little lax right now, but we got quite a few vinyl. You can download. We'll send you CDs of any record we've got. You'll be able to check all of our stuff on Spotify. So if that's more your route, or Apple Music, really any of your streaming platforms, you can find us. We'd love for you to see us on Facebook or YouTube on Sunday nights. You can follow Time Sawyer's channel on either one of those. And keep up with us. Those Instagram, of course, we're out there. So if you even try to find us, I bet you can. And we'll look forward to seeing y'all out there.
That's right, man. Thanks again, man, and we'll be in touch. And again, this has been I'm with the band here on the Mesh Podcast Network. But don't forget to be kind to one another and have a great show.
The wind did blow, trees did whip, but I had you right on my hip. 'Cause you down in this storm that come my way. The seasons change as we would move, like a pirate searching for the jewels. Those waves we'll push ourselves to sweet decay. But I believe in you, I believe in you. Every single thing I do, but I can't stick around. And I believe in you, single thing I do. But this bowling ball's coming, and I'm a 7-10. And I saw signs that I was fooled. October's winds would follow soon, but that girl of fall had never been alone. And sure enough, those bridges fell, and the fire that those reserved for hell would chase across the sky like a sunny day. And the clock can move like it likes to. Fell in love with another fool. And I believe in you, and I believe in you. Every single thing I do, but I can't stick around. And I believe in you, single thing I do. We saw this thing coming like a feather in the wind.